Alright, what's up, guys? Going to do a first run at Watkins Glen in the Porsche. A lot different from last week. Nice big wide track, not quite as bumpy. There's Brands Hatch, narrow skinny track, but that means I'm still gonna use a Brands Hatch set because that's just it's always kind of been my philosophy with setups is just keep using the previous week's setup. I kind of feel like you keep working on the overall setup that way. So it's in there. Brands Hatch 2. Let's go run some laps. I was just in a session a second ago, and it was the wrong track layout. But one thing I did notice is the track was at like 117 when I got in there too. The ambient was 79, but it went from like 117 to 110 in like 2 minutes. I wasn't paying attention to the wind though. Anyways, paying attention to that, and go run some laps. I don't know what it is about this track, but I feel like it's one of my first tracks in Iries. Probably because I raced it a lot in SRF way back when. Man, I raced a lot of cars here. I mean, a lot of series race here, so probably why this feels so familiar and so like I'm back on iRacing. This can be a tricky corner if the car's not set up. The rear end wants to come away from you. Another tricky corner here because you have the banking, so you want to lean into it, but it's hard to find that fine line between overdriving it and getting it just right. This corner is always there's a little bit of a trick to it too. You come up over the crest, the rear end usually wants to spin out on you right there. Completely horrible line there I just took. And these two nice fun little sweepers on this straight. It's a fun track. I like this track. There's a lot of can be a lot of back and forth passing. It's like the Talladega road courses. We're gonna break this before the 300s. See how that does for us. Probably gonna work. Could have broke a little harder. Let's see if the rear end doesn't even feel any business going up here full speed. Really shouldn't, because I think I have full wing, so something I'll probably experiment with here is the wing. But usually, I mean, I really don't mess with the wing too much. Could be a weakness in me setting up my cars, but I'd rather just have a good amount of security back there. Kind of a little understeer through here. I could be overdriving, not really sure yet. Something else, it's like, just thinking about that on my first lap, is you don't really know. Because with these GT4 cars, like you overdrive them, you're understeering. So you can start to think like, oh man, the setup's just bad. I gotta make an adjustment because we're understeering. But it takes you a while yourself, at least for me, to figure out, okay, am I actually overdriving this corner? Or is the car supposed to go through that corner and it's just not doing it correctly? This is kind of a tricky one because you're almost in between gears. I think you want to stay in third. Yeah, stay in third for this one too, and that'll help the rear end kind of stay behind us. Just gonna go for the apex, see what happens. It worked out pretty well. Maybe hit the apex a little bit later. carry more momentum through the last corner. Again, broke at the 300, a little bit harder. That's about, I think that's right. I just need to figure it out a little bit better. Figure out how to modulate the pedal and all that stuff. So I'm guessing the track temp's already down a couple degrees from last time we looked. I feel like these sessions start off really hot, they cool off for like a half hour, and then they kind of chill out. Oh no, it's still 115. I was wrong. So completely different than the last session. I wonder how much of that has to do with the ambient being up 1 degree and how much of it is the wind, because I wasn't paying attention to what the wind was doing. So I'm going to swing it out a little bit wider here so I can try and get a little bit better line. So it felt pretty good. Oh, that was in third. That was in fourth. Alright, gonna break a little bit after the 300 board. Am I staying in third? Am I staying? I'm staying in third. That was actually a pretty good line right there. Sheer luck, but it was a pretty good one. Alright, where are we breaking? 200? Alright, let's see. Nah, that's too late. Break just before the 200. That's nice. Didn't get all crazy on me when it touched that curb. I wasn't full throttle, but still nice now. Completely missed that apex. Going here a little bit quicker than last time. Oops. I went to go push. I went to muscle memory because I realized that twitch thing was still there. So I went to the muscle memory, pushing the clutch in when I shift on the Monte Carlo and hit the brake pedal instead. There's this one time. I'm gonna make this long story really short. But this place I worked, this guy let me borrow his car for like the whole day. Porsche Cayman S Special Edition, drove the bejesus out of it. Well, I had a Miata, and where my clutch pedal on the Miata is exactly where the brake pedal was on the Porsche. So after all day of driving this Porsche, exhausted, I'm back in my Miata going home, getting off the freeway. I go to push the clutch in. Well, I'm pushing the brake pedal in, but I don't realize it because, again, where my clutch pedal on the Miata is where the brake pedal was on the Porsche. And it took me, I went from like 60 miles an hour to 5 in about 10 feet. Because I kept pushing the brake pedal harder and harder, thinking it was the clutch, and my car just kept pulling hard to the left and just stopping on a dime, and I couldn't figure it out. And then then I realized I was pushing the brake pedal, and I almost had it to the firewall. And I was like, oh. I ended up like breaking it, and I ended up blowing out my master cylinder. So every time I accidentally hit the brake instead of the clutch, think of that time. Alright, how many laps have we done? 3? I've only done 3 laps? I feel like I've done 10. Alright, some more laps. I'd say there's a little bit of understeer and a couple of these sweepers on entry. I'm trying to swing this out a little bit wider, but I didn't turn in at the right time. That Porsche was so nice. It was like this metallic midnight blue with like tan interior and matching metallic blue rims, like factory. Like it was a nice, really, it's the nicest Cayman I've ever seen. Boy, was it fun to drive. This is like back in like 2008. I think it was a 2006. There we go. It's a pretty good line here. And you want to get on the throttle like as soon as possible because these are such, you know, relatively low horsepower cars, almost momentum-ish. Definitely walking the fine line. So you want to get on that throttle as soon as you can, build your momentum up over the hill. All right, we're starting to do some things here. Go for the later apex here. That entry. See, the track's gone down a whole whopping 1 degree, so that's kind of good because at least we're getting some consistency going here weather-wise. I don't have to worry about my lap times changing too much based off the weather. Keep missing the apex there. I don't think I've hit it once. Feels good through the S's, and it should because I got full wing on it, so it should feel nice and secure. Broke at the 400. I guess I haven't really been paying attention to where I've been braking there because I didn't even know where I should have broke. It's pretty good through there. Swinging out wide, come back for the apex. Yeah. Like a little bit more rotation through there. But I mean, honestly, this set is fine. This could be a baseline. I definitely think the Porsche set is at the point where you can pretty much just use whatever for wherever. You might even be able to find, once I get more sets built, you might even be able to find a set that's just always such a shame. But it's just the nature of iRacing that setups are always dead after a season. Such is the way of iRacing. I just went full throttle there because I knew the rear end's been stepping out on me. I wanted to see how it behaved, and that was awesome. That was like a nice controlled little power drift slide right there. Like I'm gonna be able to, I have confidence I was gonna be able to do it again right there, but it really didn't kick out on me as much there, so I didn't have to. So this one I kind of like to just get into that apex and just go for it, not really wait and swing out. It seems like if you wait and swing out, you miss it. I think that's the case for both these. I think both those you kind of just take more direct lines to the apexes as opposed to swinging out and coming in. Like this is a swing out, come in. There we go, we got the apex a little bit. I was afraid to put a whole bunch of wheel on it because I felt like the rear end was going to come around on me. I'm going to be interested to see how different wings affect it, but I'm going to do the handling first, and then I'll mess with the wing once I get that handling where I want it. Alright, we're going through as fast as we've gone to see what it'll do, and it kind of pushed on the... You want to be careful, you don't want to... That's hard if you go off there, because what you need to do to not take anybody else is go over that little asphalt strip, but if you hit that asphalt strip, your car's going to get jacked. It like launches you in there, and sometimes it actually just launches you back on the track. So that route I took right there is probably your best bet to get back on track, but you really want to just hug that inside line and give those guys outside if that happens. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but it's a pretty common spot to go off there. Alright, what do we got? We got 6 laps. Do 10 laps, and then I haven't really thought of what I want to do yet, so I'm going to keep doing laps until that idea pops in my head. Still got to work on my line too. I mean, still figuring all that out. So getting a little bit more of a drag. You don't want to go straight into it, but you don't want to take all day and wait to get to it either. I mean, that was pretty controllable. I was just kind of seeing what I could get away with. Alright. Let's see what the tires are doing. Alright. Send the message. Tires, tires, tires. That was a 6-lap run. So yeah, the rear's actually, I think that's because we're going understeer to oversteer. Gosh, I almost want to go back on what I just said and do the wing first. Got more roll bar, got more bump. A wonder. Wonder if this will be a good case to do more rear spring. Oh, we still got a lot of roll bar too. Alright. So a couple things I'm thinking. If I increase more bump stiffness here, that could help our turn in by just transitioning the weight to those front tires quicker. Could make it more responsive. Also thinking stiffer rear springs, because then that creates a stiffer rear roll center. It's basically like putting in, well, it can have a similar effect to like a stiffer roll bar in the rear. It's going to help with rotation. So that's something else I was thinking. And I was also thinking about just stiffening up the roll bar. But our main problem right now is we're tight on entry. So let's just focus on that first. So let's go. Let's go up 3 clicks. Go up 3 clicks, see how this does. So by doing that, you're just kind of, instead of the shock like coming down slower, compressing, it's going faster. And so by going faster and stiffer, it's actually pushing the tire down faster, to where if it was going slower, the tire would be putting, you see how, the tire would be pushing down slower into the surface. So it can make the car more responsive. Oh, big bump there, big bump. Rear end feels a little loose through there. Ooh, a little loose through there. I don't think I went this fast through that section before though. I don't know why it feels like that. Okay, we're still understeering. So this corner I think needs like a full adjustment, like a roll bar and the rear springs. I like the way that dove in. I think I just was a little too fast, so it washed out. Right now I'm trying to just pay attention to the front of the car and how it's behaving on initial turn in. Just need it to be nice and responsive. So far so good, but I also have brand new tires and it's my second stint, so the car's always going to feel better on your second stint when you get that new fresh set of tires. These corners is really where that rebounds or bump stiffness would show up. Yeah, I think I need, even in that corner, I need a little more overall rotation. Here, we could use a little more overall rotation. Oh my gosh, I almost I tried to right foot brake while my left foot was on the brake. I'm driving two different cars right now. Driving a 1987 Monte Carlo and a 2020 Porsche Cayman. 2 feet on one brake pedal. Let's go. Miss my apex. Let's go. So I think the first lap, greasy rear tires through here is just because they were cold, because now it feels much better. I like driving cars fast. I guess it's just fun going up through that section. It's got a nice flow to it. I like this track. Good flow. Even the chicane. I mean, I'm not a big fan of chicanes, but even that chicane has pretty doggone good flow. Alright, there we go. Pushing. Kind of overdriving it a bit. See what the nasty characteristics pop up are. Okay, being a little bit better. That is hugging that bottom line beautifully. Be patient, get on it. That was beautiful. Weather is 113, so still not really too much of a factor. Only gone down a couple degrees and it's been pretty gradual. I mean, what's the wind doing? 8 miles an hour northwest. I wonder how much wind was in that last session, because it was wild. Like, it went from 115 to 110 in like 2 to 3 minutes. And I don't really think it changed after that. Yeah, bad turn-in. Huh. Did feel like it rotated through the corner better that time, though. Woo! I don't know. Now it's starting to feel good. I feel like I need to run more laps and not make an adjustment right now. Starting to like the rotation it's picking up. I'm still butchering this corner every lap. It's getting better though. Went a little bit too quick that time. The car it was pushing the front tires instead of fully gripping them up. I was over gripping them. It's a technical term. Had some over grip. It's interesting. We're slowing down in a straight line now. What's that all about? Not how that's supposed to work. See, now the Porsche Cayman, last season I would have been terrified of going over the curves like that. A little bit of pogo there, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. We're going to get on the throttle early, see what happens. Oh, four tire push, kind of. I don't know. Feeling pretty good. Oh, that is fucking, I'm not lifting. I think I could have saved that. Even staying in it. Holy moly. Like, the weather hasn't changed that much. Just went down to a 112 while I just looked at it. That feels pretty doggone good, I ain't gonna lie. Watkins, Glen, das Boot. Well, I don't want to touch it right now. I just want to run laps. It's at that stage right now where... So, one part of me just wants to end the video right now and be like, alright, that's it. But what I'm going to do is, like, you can stop watching now. Obviously, you can stop watching whenever you want. But now I'm just going to go into the phase and do a long stint. So that's why this video will probably be another 15 minutes. Just see what it does over a full stint. And this is, for me, it's a safer way to tune. And I have more confidence in tuning because I get more familiar with the car by running more laps, so then I can obviously be better equipped to make the correct adjustments. I didn't like that set of tires. So if you go down, I would not take an inside line out of that pit lane. There's a huge bump there. Always remember, first lap through here is going to be sketch with the new tires. Rear end's going to want to come out on you. Excuse me. Nope, too fast. I feel like the tires don't quite have the same amount of grip as they do in the next lap or two on this first lap. And a lot of that is me just getting used to driving on cold tires and not really knowing how far I can push them. This given scenario. Oh, did I just... Oh, no. Not my tablet died, but... Oh, now it's down to 112. Oh, wait, did it just go from 113 to 112 or 114? Just wondering if it's starting to cool down a little bit quicker now. But still much more gradual weather cool down. Alright, really just going to try and drive the car at its capabilities, not trying to overdrive it. Usually what happens when I do that is I'll be doing that for a while and the car will get quicker and quicker and quicker, and then I'll start getting some more confidence with it too, and I'll start pushing a little bit harder, and then you start getting some of your better lap times as long. You don't overdrive it to an abusive extent. So to get that, the way, okay, I finally got that corner correct, and I just had to brake a little bit earlier. I know I'm a little bit slower through there, but I'm not using up the tires as much, and I'll get that figured out a little bit better to carry a little bit more speed through it to where I'm not losing the same amount of time. Man, these GT4 cars feel good. I was like, because when I left, like the GT Cup car came out, and I've never really liked the way that thing handled. I just think it's, I don't know. I just never liked the car, and I was kind of afraid that's how this was going to be. It's the only Porsche I've never liked on the service. But these things are awesome. Like, these are... If these would have came out when I was around, these would have been the most popular cars in the service on the roadside just because of how they handle. That's fun little cars. Maybe turn in right around the 100 board. There you kind of just gotta get the muscle memory down. I like the rotation though. Like, see, this is what happened to this stint. Is this the third? So again, braking a little bit earlier, just getting a little bit more controlled. Missed my apex, turned in a little too late. We're in a little loose there. Alright, this is... We're on the third lap of this stint. Morning. How you doing, Cindy? Yeah, and you saying for the Porsche, you think I can do that? Let's see if I can find out where that rev limiter is. bit of understeer on entry there. Yeah, too early of an apex. Still handled the bad line nicely. When I got full throttle there, it was very accommodating. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Keep it off the wall. Good job. Good job. Now, if I had ABS on, that would have gone in the wall. 100% we would have just lost the car right there if I had ABS. That's why I don't have ABS. Alright, cool. Thanks for the data. Appreciate it. But that's my poster for why I don't have ABS right there. Still have some bit of control when you're out of control when you don't have ABS. ABS is good until you're sliding sideways. Then it's like the evil gremlin in those old cartoons, just messing with your car, causing all kinds of issues. That's why it's such a pet peeve for me in the BMW. They don't even give you the option to turn off ABS. You have to run it. So I'm almost kind of surprised all race cars aren't like that by now. Alright, let's get back to focusing on summer laps. It's kind of good when I do those non-focus laps too, because in a way it kind of simulates a race when you're offline and you tune up the tires a little bit more. So that's a positive way I look at losing focus. I feel like I need to pay attention more because I keep feeling like I've understeered through that corner, but I don't know if it's because the way I'm driving or... Ooh, that was a really good line. That was a really good line. And turn it in just before that board's probably going to be perfect. And want to step out a little bit there. We'll have to see what that's all about. Yeah, it's interesting. Ren's starting to step out. It's okay, it's behind me there. It's not doing anything weird there. Turn one, it wanted to step out though. The last corner it wanted to step out. We'll lap around 5. I really like the way it's taking these. I mean, it's taking these curves pretty damn well. And be patient with the corner here. A little bit understeer though. I think I'm still gonna need to make another more holistic adjustment. Because I think maybe, like, oh man, I was in the wrong gear. So I think maybe why it's kind of oversteering a couple spots is because I have to put a little bit more wheel in it than I should, so it's more of a snap oversteer thing. Later you can get this apex better. Oh, almost wrapped around that curb perfectly. A lot of flow through this section. Keep the inputs to a minimum. Whoop, whoop, whoop. See what I could get away with without lifting. You can definitely drive these things so much more sideways than you used to be able to. Like, I wouldn't have been able to hold on to that back in the day. And if I did, it would have been a damn miracle. Okay, I want to cut that one as much as possible so you get a good line for that one. That was probably my best line through there. And be patient, be patient. I wasn't patient. Now we're pushing, we're suffering. I have no rhythm right now. Everything is off. Maybe we don't need to even shift there, huh? I'm losing a little bit of confidence in the rear end, like right there. I didn't go full throttle when I normally do. So, kind of need to force myself to get back into just doing what I need to do just so I can see what the bad characteristics are of the car instead of trying to drive around them. See, that's not the kind of slide I like. Super lazy. Hate lazy slides because they're just so awkward. So that's kind of falling apart here, without a doubt. It's a very hot track, but shouldn't be falling apart this bad. I think the rear end's just getting a little too ornery, which sucks because that's what I need to do to get more rotation in the car. So I got a problem here. I'm hoping it's just too much understeer is making me put too much wheel in it, causing the oversteer. I'm hoping by putting in that stiffer rear roll bar, stiffer springs, we'll get rid of all this. But let's see if we can kind of take it back a couple notches on how hard I'm driving it and see if we can get the setup to come back to me. Understeer on entry, then went to oversteer. Understeer. Oversteer. Man, like, nothing is gelling right now. I just went from having confidence to just like, what is happening right now? It's hot. I mean, what's the track at now? There's that. But still. What do we got? 109, so it's gone down pretty significantly in the last 10-15 minutes. Ambience at 79 now. Could also be a case as I was just starting to lose it as a driver. Thinking the setup was better than it was and trying to drive it harder than it's really capable of doing. That happens a lot. This corner is just such a fine line to, like right there, I just Had just a little too little speed, so it brought me in too far, and I just barely tapped that curb. Oh, see, I'm going way too fast into this corner. I need to... I haven't got that corner right in a while. I need to pay attention to my braking spot there. It's still... You can drive it, but I don't like it being sideways like that. Like, I appreciate that we can save it, but setup-wise, not ideal. This video is going to be a little bit longer than I expected because I'm not happy right now. Can't figure out why. So right there, we're good, we're good. Why are you doing that? Because it's not turning in the way I need it to. And it's not holding, like it's just... And it's not allowing me to get on throttle like I want. And you can see that the oversteer is more of a problem than the understeer, because 93, 95. The oversteer was more of a problem, there'd be less up here. Well. So now I'm at the point where if I do stuff, it could work, or it could just make things worse, so I might as well just do that stuff. Stiffness is already pretty low. Rebound. Oh. Get rid of some of this rebound. So that's going to help. It's just kind of like adding more bump stiffness to the front. You take this away, it'll transfer weight to the quicker, so that should help us on turn in. And then, I do one adjustment or two? Getting on the throttle, it's doing a lazy spin. I'm just hoping if we get it to rotate more on entry, it won't have that lazy spin. I don't know if I want to go higher spring rate or if I want to go stiffer roll bar. Go stiffer roll bar, it's less drastic. Stick with the smaller adjustments. So my whole goal is to get the car to turn more in the beginning so we don't have so much wheel in it to where it's getting loose on us on exit. I'm pushing a clutch into shift. Fun fact, this car doesn't have a clutch. I wonder how many real drivers did that when they first got in it. You gotta push a clutch pedal in, there's not even a clutch pedal there. Guy feels so much better on new tires. Ooh, not expecting that understeer with that adjustment though. Such a different car on new tires. That might be a lot of it is tire fall off too, and you just gotta be able to deal with that. And if everyone has to drive a car, then everyone has to drive a car. Weather on the track's on 106, so it's starting to make some big moves. Seems like once it gets down to that 79, the track cools off a little bit more significantly. Like that is just, it's so weird how it just completely changes the setup, the feeling, the handling over a couple laps. Because right now it just feels awesome. Got all the confidence back. There you go, have a good time. Charge through there. Rear end doesn't feel like it wants to step out on me. Rear end feels good through here. That was awesome. Not overdrive this corner. Still not turning exactly like I'd want. Too fast. Whew. Brake a little bit before 200. I'm just going to be more conservative with this corner because I've been botching it so much. Wait for that apex. There we go. Oh, that was good. Nah, broke too early, turned in too early. Still be giving me my best lap, I think. And the weather's getting cooler too, so there's that. Ah, butchered. You missed my turning. It's interesting to see what I'll do in about 4 more laps. Hopefully it behaves a little bit better and I can just end this. Seeing how much I can cut there, I can't even remember. Looks like a very significant portion. Get this out a little bit wider, tap the brakes to get the nose to bite just a little bit. Car feels really good right now. Drove in a little too hard, not gonna get a good exit. This is my best line through there. There we go. Wasn't the fastest. I thought it was better than it was. It wasn't that good one. Still got to work on it. But fun part was being sideways, full throttle, rev limiter, and handling it. Got through there pretty nice. Yeah, if you're getting a little too wide there, just barely tap the brakes. It should bring you back in if you're not going too fast. If you're super over the speed, it won't help you, but you just need a little correction. Just tap the brakes. Ugh. Just wanted it too bad. Alright, this is where set started to go away from me last time, so let's see what happens this time. This lap is kind of a throwaway because I'm trying to figure out what the track temp is here right now. Alright, track's 107, so it actually went back up a little bit. So it looks like we're kind of equalized right here. Track temp wise. Just keep going a little too slow through the middle, so it brings me in a little too narrow on the exit. Have a little bit more speed, it'll swing me out just a little bit wider. Struggling with that corner so bad. I think I'm just mentally too distracted right now. I'm having a hard time keeping focus. Keep forgetting that I should be focusing on corner entry, not daydreaming. It doesn't, it's better, for sure. It's not nearly as unruly as it was last time. Definitely does seem to be a drop off in pace, more so than last week. Last week I seemed to stay pretty consistent, but Yeah, it's not even getting as loose through there as it was before. Yeah, after a couple laps, you just really can't lean on the tires like you could in the beginning, especially in these kind of weather conditions. Might be different in cooler weather. Who knows what the weather will be like? I'm doing this pre this week started. Alright, we will do 4 more laps here just to make sure it's better, and then we'll call it. Let's see if we can even get some consistent laps going here at the end. You just lose so much grip, and you can't really drive like you could the first couple laps. Cars start sliding around more. There we go. Carried a little bit more speed in there than I thought I should have, and it was perfect. A little greasy getting back on the throttle, but I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast. This is a pretty significant drop off in times, which I don't mind. I like it. It's the same way for everybody. Cool beans, man. Just more tire management. Like, I know you get to a point where it's unrealistic, but if the tires just wear faster, that just means it's more on the driver to manage them, and I think it just adds a whole nother layer to the game. I guess these are 2-minute laps too, so 5 laps here is a little bit more miles than other tracks, so it can be probably not going to do as many laps here as we have been other places. So you got to take that into account when you're thinking about the tires going off at 5 laps. Well, yeah, it's 5 laps here, but another track that might have been 8 or 9 laps, you know. All things to keep in mind. Alright, I'm gonna just pull off. I think I have done all I can do for this session. Definitely learned some things, not 100% on the setup yet, but I mean, it's once the tires get to this point, you have to you can't attack like you did. Like the first couple laps, you can, and I'm not saying overdrive the car by any means, but you can drive it at 100%, where when it gets in this state, I feel like you need to drive it at like 90% or 95% just to account for all the extra little slippage and sliding until you get used to what it does, or until I make a setup where it doesn't do that. Alrighty then. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see. Oh, let's look at the tires real quick. can't. Oh, how long was the last stint? So 9 to 6. So it was like 1 lap, but tire wear was a little bit better. See how the rear isn't quite. Wait, what happened? That wasn't the tire stuff we were just looking at. It was 94, 95. What just happened? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look at this video after I post it and see if I just lost my mind, because I could have swore it just said like 95, 94. And it switched. Well, I'll just leave that up in the air. I'll save this. And I'll see you guys next time.